There are these hidden levels of intelligence, and they're pretty much running your life without you even knowing it. If you can understand them, well, that's the key to unlocking your real potential. So let's dive in and uncover them, shall we? Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're working so hard, but you're just not moving forward? Maybe you were the one who aced all the exams, but now in life, you just feel kind of average. You think fast on your feet, but when it comes to the big decisions, you're slow, you're confused. You put in all the hours, but it feels like everyone else is getting ahead. What is going on? Well, here's the thing. The problem isn't that you're not intelligent, not at all. The problem is that what we've all been shown, it's just one tiny, tiny piece of the real puzzle of intelligence. And that one little piece, it's created a trap that keeps millions of really smart people, maybe even you, from ever reaching their goals. And we call it the IQ trap. Think about it. From the time we were kids, what were we taught? Intelligence means a high IQ, right? It's what you get rewarded for on exams, it's what schools measure. It all comes down to fast thinking, strong memory, and just quick logic, processing information super fast. But here's the catch. That's just the base layer. It's level 1. And if you only focus on that, your progress is going to cap out. It just stops. Seriously, it doesn't matter how hard you work or how fast your brain is, you eventually just hit a wall. To break through that wall, you have to unlock the next level. And that brings us to level 2, creative intelligence. And honestly, the power of this one is perfectly illustrated by this incredible story, a story about how it literally saved the world. So picture this. It's 1941. Nazi Germany looks completely unstoppable. And Britain? It's on the brink of starvation because German U-boats are sinking thousands of their supply ships. And the key to all these perfectly coordinated deadly attacks is this one machine, the Enigma. It encrypts all of Germany's secret messages with a code that everyone thinks is mathematically impossible to break. So how unbreakable are we talking? Well, the Enigma machine had 160 quintillion possible combinations every single day. That's 160 with 18 zeros after it. Trying to guess the right combination would be like trying to find one specific grain of sand on all the beaches on Earth. Just impossible. So what does Britain do? They assembled 10,000 of their absolute best and brightest. We're talking top mathematicians, logicians, chess grandmasters, the highest IQ minds they could find. They threw all that raw brain power at the problem, just trying to brute force it. And the results? Zero. Zilch. Absolutely nothing. But then, along comes a different kind of thinker, Alan Turing. See, while all those 10,000 geniuses were asking the classic IQ question, how can we break this machine? Turing asked a totally different, a creative question. He asked, who is using this machine? And the answer, of course, was people, humans. And what do we know about humans? They are creatures of habit. And that, right there, is the core of creative intelligence. It has nothing to do with being good at art or music. No, it's the ability to completely redefine the problem you're looking at. Turing realized they weren't fighting a math problem with 160 quintillion combinations. They were fighting a human psychology problem. And that is a much, much easier problem to solve. It's like what Einstein said, right? Imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Turing didn't know more math than the 10,000 other geniuses working on this. He just imagined the problem from a completely different angle. And you know what? The science totally backs this up. There's research that shows once your IQ gets past about 120, having an even higher IQ, well, it only explains about 5 to 15% of your success in life. But creative intelligence, that accounts for a whopping 25 to 35%. So what does that tell you? Among smart people, the real game changer isn't more IQ points. It's a better perspective. Okay, so creative intelligence is huge, but even the most brilliant, world-changing idea is completely useless if it just stays stuck in your head. And that brings us to the third level, the one that keeps creativity from just being, daydreaming. Level 3, executive intelligence. To get this, we have to talk about Xerox. Back in the 1970s, they created this, it was like a paradise for creative geniuses called Park. These guys were given unlimited money, no deadlines, just go invent the future. And look what they came up with. Basically, the entire modern computer. The graphical user interface you're looking at right now, the mouse in your hand, Ethernet, laser printers, all of it came from them. So that leads to the billion-dollar question, doesn't it? If they invented the future, why did Xerox pretty much fade into irrelevance while companies like Apple and Microsoft got ridiculously rich off their ideas? It's because they were missing that third level of intelligence. And this is executive intelligence. It's not about coming up with more great ideas. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. It's about killing ideas. It's that brutal discipline to focus all your limited time, all your energy, and convert just one great idea into an actual real-world thing. You hear this saying all the time in business. Ideas are 1%. Execution is 99%. And that's the whole story right there. An idea, even a revolutionary one, is almost worthless on its own. The real value, the other 99%, is in the execution. Xerox had the amazing 1%, but they just couldn't deliver on the 99. Now, let's look at someone who is a master of this, Steve Jobs. When he came back to Apple, the company was failing, and they were making dozens of different, confusing products. So what did he do? He didn't try to invent his way out of the problem. No, he simplified. He took a company that was juggling more than 20 products and just ruthlessly started killing projects one by one until they were focused on just 4. And that brutal, relentless focus, it saved the company and eventually made it the most valuable in the world. All right, so it feels like we've got the whole picture now, right? You've got IQ for processing power, creative intelligence for vision, and executive intelligence to actually make it happen. But is that it? If you master all 3, are you guaranteed success? Well, this is where we hit one last really deep paradox. I mean, look at Steve Jobs again. He was obviously a master of both of these higher levels we just talked about. He completely redefined entire industries with his creative vision, and then he out-executed literally everyone with his insane focus. The guy was a true genius. And that's what makes this next part so confusing. When this master of execution was diagnosed with a very treatable form of cancer, he just ignored his doctor's advice. He refused the surgery that could have saved him. And for 9 critical months, he tried to cure himself with fruit diets and acupuncture. It was a decision that ultimately cost him his life. So how? How could someone so brilliant make such a profoundly irrational choice? It's because there is another level, a 4th level of intelligence that sits on top of everything else, one that controls all the others. And it seems that even a genius who can conquer the worlds of technology and business can fail to apply that same rational execution to their own life when it matters most. There's another level, and it truly does control everything.